Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. This is Semi Homesteading with Abby, where we talk all things homesteading, homemaking, and motherhood. Today we are going to be in the kitchen and we're gonna make my Nana's meat sauce. Now this is one of her signature dishes and it's really simple to put together. And I'm stepping up my game a little bit and I'm gonna make my own from scratch noodles as well. We are going to follow a noodle recipe and I'm gonna use the KitchenAid attachment to make my own spaghetti. The meat sauce I've made so many times and I just wanted to share this because honestly, we just eyeball the recipe a lot of times. And so I finally found the written down recipe and I just wanted to document it. Honestly, so I can go back and just see the recipe anytime I want. You should also have this recipe, it's just amazing. So that's what we're doing today. I'm gonna start the meat sauce first because it simmers for a long time and then roll out the noodles. Once you make the noodle dough, they just have to rest for 30 minutes. So we can easily make the noodles while the meat sauce is simmering. So that's what we're doing, that's the plan for the day. Before we get started, just make sure to subscribe to my channel so you never miss a video. I have a lot of great things coming up for the fall and winter. I appreciate you being here. So if you're watching and you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to go hit the subscribe button. It really helps me out. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. I would love that. So go subscribe and let's make some meat sauce. Okay, let's get started here. Like I said, this is a very simple recipe. Now it takes kind of a long time because you let it simmer, but really you're just chopping up a few things, throwing everything into a pot, and it's easy. So we're gonna start with 1/3 of an onion. Now, the recipe that I saw written down was based off of 3 pounds of ground beef. That's a lot of tomato sauce. So I'm just gonna make 1 pound of ground beef in this video. So I'm gonna put my pan over the stove, coat it with olive oil, and add 1/3 of a chopped up onion to get it kind of translucent. Now, this is when you add your ground beef, and as it's browning, you wanna do it before it's brown. As it's browning, you add your spices. So you're gonna add about 1.5 tablespoons of garlic powder, about 1/2 tablespoon of salt, and 1/3 a teaspoon of cayenne pepper. Now, the cayenne pepper can vary depending on how spicy you want it. My husband likes it spicy. I don't love it too spicy, so that is variable. And go nuts with the cayenne if you so desire, but the standard recipe is about 1/3 of a teaspoon. Now, the other thing that the recipe calls out is to use a potato masher to mash your ground beef to get it to a very fine consistency. This has never actually been that important to me. Sometimes I like the bigger chunks of meat, but I do enjoy sometimes when it's really fine. So depending on your mood or depending on how you like, the chunkiness of your meat sauce, you can use a potato masher and get it really fine. Now, I've linked exact amounts in the recipe below, but honestly, for the tomato paste and the juice, I eyeball it. I use about 2/3 of a can of tomato paste and about 3/4 of the jug of tomato juice. Okay, now that the meat sauce is simmering and we have it all cooking, now we're gonna make the noodles, which is a very exciting part. I will link the noodle recipe that I found online in the description below. It was really good, really straightforward. Basically just made a well of flour, added my olive oil, salt, and eggs, mixed that up, kneaded the dough, and we run it through the KitchenAid attachment. So I'm gonna stop talking here for a minute, just enjoy this montage of me cooking these noodles. It was a real mess at first, but we got there in the end and I felt like a real Italian chef. So enjoy. So at this point, as you can see, I'm taking each of the 4 chunks of dough and kind of rolling them out into a long, flat rectangle shape so they can easily be fed through the KitchenAid appliance. And when you're running it through the appliance, you're gonna just wanna start on the thickest thickness, I guess you would say. And then with each pass through the machine, you move the thickness down a little bit. Now, you can step down one by one, but I found it unnecessary and really time consuming. So every time I adjust the knob, I actually adjust by 2 usually. So I usually run it through at setting 1, then setting 2, and then from there go 4, 6, and 8. And then once you've run it through at thickness 8, that is the thinnest that you're gonna go. And then you run it through the cutting section, and that is what's gonna cut your noodles. Okay, a very important note here is to, once you've rolled this on the lowest setting, make sure to dust the entire thing with flour so your noodles, once they're cut, don't stick together. Now, another thing that I probably should have done is cut the noodles as they were coming out of the machine, so they're a little shorter. I did not do that, so my noodles, as you can see when I plate this up, they are extremely long. It ends up being fine, like it's not the end of the world, but it's definitely better probably if you make them a little shorter and more manageable, unlike what I did. But once you have all of your noodles cut, you only have to boil them for 1 minute. So since they're not dried out like your boxed pasta, which takes about 10 minutes, you just boil it for about 1 minute. It's super quick and easy, and then you're ready to eat. Here's the final look of the meat sauce. It's cooked down quite a lot, as you can tell. And here's the entire bowl of pasta and sauce. Now you can sprinkle Parmesan on top, which makes it extra good. And you can also add Parmesan while you're cooking. I sat down and watched some Suits for dinner and ate my pasta, and it was amazing. And that is all there is to it to make an amazing bowl of spaghetti with meat sauce. And it's one of my favorite meals. I absolutely love it. I hope you make this for your family as well. I have put the recipe on my website, so click the link below. Again, make sure to subscribe to the channel so you never miss a video, and I will see you next week. Bye everyone.